right, a very good morning to you. Happy Monday. I hope that your week has started on a high note. It's very cold right here in Nairobi and a lot of rain and traffic along the way. But I hope that you're keeping safe and warm. Welcome to the show. My name is Winnie Lubembe and this is Mindful Monday. And on this Mindful Monday, we want to talk about something that almost every single person either has an experience or has talked about, or maybe it's something that you're dealing with right now, okay? And we're talking about debt management, okay? Madeni. And we're trying to understand, is it such a bad thing really, okay? And if you find yourself that you call a Madeni left, right, and center, then how do you, first of all, manage them, okay? How do you, first of all, get yourself out of debt just to make sure that you're comfortable, okay? You live a nearly normal life as any other person who does not have debt, okay? So it's gonna be an amazing conversation. And this morning, we also have an audience right here on set with us. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Because most of you are young, so I want to hear your stories about that and how you're dealing with the same, right? But thank you so much for making the time to join us this morning. And on my panel, again, very able panel this morning to really help us understand, first of all, what is debt? How do we get ourselves in there? And how do we manage our debt? And is it such a bad thing? But before I introduce my panel to you this morning, we have a question for you, and it's a very simple question, okay? And that is, have you ever been enslaved by debt? What exactly is your debt story? Engage with us on our socials. There you have it. Have you ever been enslaved by debt? And what exactly is your debt story? So engage with us on our socials, and that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X. And tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. But if you want to call in live and maybe share your debt experience with us, feel free. The numbers will be down on your screen in just a second. And use our WhatsApp number as well, 0112 500 400. Now, I can see a number of you have a lot to say online, but before I go into your feedback, my guest, like I said, on my immediate left, we have Shamton Githere Ndiritu, who's a chairman, Mobile Accessories Group. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for making the time. And we also have Amos Ngahu, who is a money coach and founder, Money Clinic Limited. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Karibu sana. And I want to say Happy New Year to all of you, but then someone's like, Winnie, we're almost getting into February, but we've not seen each other. It was Happy New Year. And we're also expecting Stephen Moshe, who's a managing director, United Paints, as well, to join us on this very important conversation. Amos, let's just start. Debt, okay? Can we understand the nature of debt? Is it such a bad thing, you know? Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you. And it's good to have audience. You know, sometimes when you're in studio, it's always good to have a conversation with good friends. So first of all, thank you. And just the issue of debt, historically, debt was supposed to help someone leverage on extra resources. So for instance, if I'm doing a business in the context of our audience who are business people, if I don't have capacity to, let's say, restock my shop, or I have a deal, I need to more stock, I can actually come to Winnie, ask her, lend me this much. I might give you a bit, I might share my profit, but basically it is helping me achieve something I couldn't do alone. So that's the whole concept. But now over time, there is the aspect which now is messing us up. The moment you find yourself you are into consumer debt, the moment you find you're taking a loan, that the interest is higher than the kind of return you are anticipating, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. All right. Is there such thing as a good debt and a bad debt?
Definitely. The whole concept of the first concept was very good. If you're in business, you want to leverage on something, or even if you want to purchase an asset, which probably might be able to give you a higher return, or it's appreciating faster, or it's protecting you against inflation, or you know, some of these aspects. If it is helping you do that, then we can call it good debt. But now the question we should be asking is, what mental state, or what do we do, or what is driving us to take that loan? Sometimes it's not about even the huge loans that are chasing you. It's a mentality behind it when you started.
I mean, listen, almost everyone who takes a loan, say, nataka nisaidie, okay? I don't think there's someone who just wants to take a loan because, well, see, it's available, let me just take a loan. Because we all understand the whole aspect about repaying and interest rates and all those things, right? So I'll come back to you then to understand that how do I know, like what is it that I need to understand before even taking a loan in terms of whether this qualifies as a good debt or a bad debt. For instance, if I take a loan to, okay, for the guys, take a loan to take a girl out on a date. Is that, this one is laughing, did you? No? Okay, but Shamso, let me hear from you. So from the business, aspect of it, first of all, just want to hear your story a little bit. Have you ever been enslaved by debt? I'm just going to ask you the same question that we're asking our audiences this morning.
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, as you've said, my name is Shamton Iderendiritu, and CEO of Fits and Kenya, a company dealing with mobile accessories, and a brand that I own, FDK Kenya.
Okay.
And I'm also the chairman, Mobile Accessories Group. And what I can say is that almost everyone who is in business, sometimes one time or the other, he has been enslaved by that thing you call debt.
Okay.
But debt is good.
Okay.
Because it helps you to bring the future today. So if you want to save for 5 years and do something after 5 years, you don't know the future, what the future holds after 5 years.
True.
So you need maybe to get a debt, manage yourself, do whatever you want to do after 5 years. Don't fear about the interest sometimes, because could be the interest that you will be paying is the inflation cost that will be there after 5 years. So it is also important to think and be courageous, you know, take that debt.
Okay.
As we all know, some of us are here because we tried and we least to take debt, and we moved from 0, 1, 2, that,
to where you are
to
today.
where we are today.
Okay.
And we can proudly say that it helped us somewhere in the way. But for the starters, sometimes it's a bit hard.
Okay.
Because you don't know. Well, maybe you are very new in the mobile accessories. I can talk about that because I know it. You're very new. You don't know what is going, you don't know what is moving, and then you take a loan, you go and bring things and not very fast moving. Then that way you might get yourself into problems. So I would advise the young people, the ones that are here, when you are starting, try as much as possible to
have some sort of
some money somewhere.
Okay.
So that by the time you are going for maybe 6 months, you will know this one is moving, this one is not moving. And by that now, when I take the loan, I'm 100% sure this is the direction I want to take.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but sometimes you take that loan, you know 100% where you want to go, okay? But then something happens along the line and maybe Biashara does not pick as, as you had anticipated. So the biggest question is then, as for businesses, how do you morph? Yes, you have this loan that you need to repay, but also ensure that on this other hand, your business does not suffer, right? But Amos, back to you before I talk to the audience. So then what are some of the, how do we first of all get ourselves into debt, okay? And like you said, there's good debt, and then there's this other one where we don't know whether to categorize them as bad or unnecessary, debt at some point.
I think first of all, Winnie, it's good to be fair. You know, I'm also Kenyan.
Okay.
You didn't ask me if I've been, in debt.
Have you ever been enslaved by debt? Okay.
Definitely. And being a Kenyan, even when you find debt is overwhelming, what do? You switch off your phone and unatoa battery.
Let me tell you, yes. And SIM card and then get a new one.
So I have been there.
Okay.
I have been there.
What happened?
And let me just share.
Okay.
And one of the things I've come to realize is that let's also not look at debt as us borrowing. We've also lended people.
True.
So we must be able to understand the mindset around it. We are living in a day and age whereby if I see your nice pink dress, I would ask you where you bought it.
Sure.
I don't know if you have an agreement with the brand, whether they are being mentioned, but I want to look like you if I'm a young lady.
All right.
So if I have those digital loans and I need to appear somewhere, I need to look like Winnie, I'll end up borrowing.
Yeah.
Yet, Winnie had not shared her story. So there's a lot of influence out there, and especially on our social media, the lifestyle we are living. So what happens is that now the lenders are aware of this. And that is why you'll find every other person is telling you, you can lipa pole pole. You get it? They're giving you digital loans. They go through your social media. They have seen the kind of lifestyle you're living. Already, they have even given you a limit before you even apply.
Before you apply.
So we have to be very aware and start understanding how can we be content? And if we are going into debt, let it not be a debt for consumption. That is the worst debt you can get yourself.
Define consumption in this case, in today's...
Very simple.
Yeah.
One of the young men, we were talking about if you've borrowed to even take someone out. It happens. You go somewhere, boys are there, one has thrown in the first round, the second round, you're like, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
But I look at my phone, I have a digital loan, I have a certain limit, which we make the assumption is our money. So you're like, let me also pay. Or even something as little as you're purchasing something, it's not what you're expecting, but you need it. That extra cost. And probably you're not even buying an asset.
Okay.
It's not going to generate you anything. So we must be able to understand the mindset that we have. Do I really have to borrow?
Okay.
You know, I think I must have been 26 when I was getting my first car loan.
Okay.
And the car was costing $650. No, I could access a facility from my employer at $650 simply because my boss had told me, you're walking like an animal. You get, first of all, the influence. Yeah. Because you have to appear with a car.
True.
Then the car I wanted was costing $850.
All right.
So you see there's a deficit of $200. But I was a very nice Kenyan. I was in a circle. Some of these circles give you 3 times your savings.
Yeah.
Now I had saved 120,000.
Okay.
So meaning I qualify for?
Around
360, isn't it?
Yes.
Now I'll allow our audience to answer. Now being a Kenyan, I only needed 200. How much do you think I borrowed? Thank you. I borrowed the entire amount. Did I really need the 160? No, but because it was available and the SACCO officers were telling me, you get the maximum, you can do something. So ideas should come first, test the business, run it, then if you need to supplement, that's when you borrow. Now the mistake we have right now is that we are taking financial advice from salespeople.
Let me tell you, and then also the fact that these things are readily available. Okay, so the lending apps, we have them now, you know, everywhere you walk, at on TV, there's adverts, billboards, they go all over the place. Like it's constantly in your face. That's listen, you need it, we got it, you know? So that availability, do you think this is what is driving a lot of people into getting loans? But before you answer that, and also you've not shared your story on how you got into like this very much, except for the car loan. I know most of you have so many questions for Amos and Shampton, but before that, I want to hear your story. What is it? What is happening in your lives? You're young, you have access to, mobile phones, smartphones in this case, and lending apps and all those things. What's your story? Let me start with you. You want to run away? Tell us your name and you know what you do if you are a student or not, a business owner, and then tell us your story.
Yeah, so my name is Dennis Osingo. I was a student. Yeah, but currently I'm doing freelancing jobs. That is camera operations.
All right.
Yeah, so for me, actually, what happened? I borrowed. I remember that nilikuwa nimeshamaliza form 4.
All right.
And then I was looking for fare kukuja Nairobi. That time I was staying with my mom in Kisumu.
All right.
So my mom had some financial issues, which I had to I'd already been introduced to any branch.
Okay. The lending mobile, lending apps on your phone. Okay.
So nika go through the phone, nika go through the procedure. I had to borrow the money. So after kuborrow, akasema hisi nikifika Nairobi, my mom will pay.
Okay.
Then things never went on vile zilikuwa. So nikafika Nairobi, because we were staying with my mom at Kisumu, but I also had family in Nairobi. So I came to visit one of my uncles because he has always been there for me.
Okay.
So after borrowing, I remember very well, I said, within 2 weeks, because I cannot be staying in Westlands, and then you tell me I cannot get that money. Yeah, so after that, Kiburi kanipeleka juu. Later on, I never paid. Actually, sijai lipa.
How much was it? How much did you borrow?
It was around 2,500.
Okay.
And then...
So that's like interest may accrue.
Squeeze on nipigiangi, sijui what happened. No. I have the same SIM card in Mekwana all along. I think there's a time where the government said that if you know you have sijui pesa ndogo ndogo, then do that thing.
Okay.
So sasa sijui kama ilifanywa hivyo.
Lakini wewe hujalipa deni ya wenyewe. Okay, all right. Let's speak to you. Tell us your name and what's your name. So you have the mic. Good morning.
My name is Frederick Sarebwa. I'm an event planner and a political strategist.
Oh, way.
So I'm a victim in that field.
Okay.
Ambapo it was on 2022 where I went for this loan lenders called Unify. So I went there and I filled a form. They gave me 24,000.
Hey, so, was that like your first loan?
Yeah, that was my first
you started big. Okay.
So immediately they gave me 24,000. Immediately after the doorstep, I took a bus to Mombasa. It was tomorrow. It was a Valentine Day, February.
Okay.
So when I went to Mombasa,
I
went there to just stay there like 2 days. Then I used around 10,000.
Okay.
So the remaining 14,000, I came back to Nairobi, and I started a business of car wash. So that business ikaanza kukua na tushida kidogo.
Okay.
So tulikuwa tumeagree that after 2 months I'll refund that money.
Okay.
Possibly nikatafuta hiyo pesa, nikalipa, knowing that they will add
for
some
you
limit.
And your entire clan. They will add.
They will add some limit. So na ilikuwa 2 months, but nikapitisha na 1 month. So wakaniambia immediately you pay. After paying you wait like 24 hours. Then you will be
reapply.
Reapply. You see your limit. Hakuna haja ukuja kwa ofisi. So nikawa nimechukua mahali kwa friends na jaza nasema now the limit it can go up to even 80,000. So I have a lot of hopes nita upgrade the car wash. Alafu nita upgrade even mahali nakaa ni nisonge kidogo.
Okay.
So you know what happened?
What happened? We don't know.
It was around 12 p.m. usiku hivi nilikuwa job. So nikaona 24 hours imeisha. So nikaenda nikaklik. Wakaniambia kuna mahali kuna tena una update details. So I updated. After updating, they showed me 95,000.
Okay.
Yeah, 95,000. So 95,000 wakaweka hapo, you will the money will be nini kwa account yako after 8 hours.
Okay.
So probably I calculated the hours from that 12 p.m. hiyo usiku to
kesho asubuhi saa 2 saa 3 uko na pesa.
Niko na pesa. In fact I was calling those friends I borrowed the money. I will sort you
kesho
kitu nitawekea kitu juu.
Okay.
Because you have really ninaifanya ninaenda kupata pesa mingi.
Yeah.
So immediately after 8 hours ziliisha, actually I saw a red sentence kwa hiyo simu. Immediately I opened, nikaona a red sentence, your loan has been declined. I was to die that day.
Oh my days.
Remember nimechukua pesa yenyewe. I tried even to call. So the lenders responded that the system is working according to your details zenye umeweka hapo. So just try again next time.
Okay. Do you try again? Was the money ever came?
Up to now they just put try after 60 days. After 60 days imeisha,
try after 90 days.
Hizo. They keep on. So what the question I can ask the manager from the website.
All right.
How can you come up with the measure that we are the customers for you? We have not declined like 2 months. We have some period ambapo tumeagree na nyinyi kwamba tutalipa after 2 months.
Okay.
And I have just nimemess kidogo nikapitisha 1 month. You understand?
1 month ni mingi. Listen, the way he's negative, nimemess kidogo.
Or like 2 weeks na nimekuja kulipa hiyo loan. What measures zenye mnaweza weka kwamba huyu amekuwa customer for a while. Hiyo nini mnaweza tumia aje ndio huyo customer endelee kubenefit through nyinyi.
Now pia benefit kupata biashara. I mean, I hope there's a mobile, CEO of a mobile lending app who's watching us this morning. Please answer his question. Okay, and I want to hear from you. Okay, let's hear from you. What's your dad story? But start with your name very quickly and keep it as short as possible.
Okay, good morning. My name is Mabel. I'm a business lady. Actually, it's like you're talking about me.
Okay.
Like, I am a tailor.
All right.
I sew bags. But our business is seasonal. So I decided to start another business. Like nikingoja hii, clients of course watakuja, but let me be doing something
else
while waiting.
Very valid.
So I decided to start a business of selling avocados. And I was sure it's something that you said
is big, right?
You said, like when you want to take a loan, it's something that you are sure if I get into this, I'll get money.
Yes.
So I borrowed money. And I was like, una calculate by next week, nitakuwa nimepata hii pesa, and then nitakuwa nimerudisha mwenyewe.
Yeah.
So I took, but haikuenda vile I expected.
How much did you actually take? Loan?
5,000.
Okay.
I borrowed from someone, my friend. I just told him there's this business that I want to do. If you can help me by like 2 weeks, nitakuwa nimekurudishia. Ile yenye you have already calculated everything, uko sure like hii nikileta hii it's going to work, hata you know. Hizo vitu zinauza, but it didn't go as planned.
Okay, I
Things
see.
failed.
Yeah.
But sasa you see I'm already niko kwa deni. Sasa and I took the money from someone I need to pay. Business has failed. You see, sasa I have a question. How to manage, like, sasa if you find someone ako kwa situation kama hiyo, what is he or she supposed to do? Like how to manage?
Okay. Okay. I hear that. Shamton, do you want to take that, because you're already in business and you know, and even what he said, that I was 100% sure. In 2 weeks, I mean in 2 months, italipa pesa yenyewe paka nilipe na interest on top. Yeah. So address that from the business point of view, and then Amos will come to you.
Okay. Thank you, Winnie, and thank you all of you here, because you have really tried. The risk of getting a debt, that one is a try and is a plus.
All right.
And it shows the courage in you people.
Okay.
Now what I can say is that, number one, when you are borrowing to start a business, kindly don't exhaust all your avenues of lending.
Okay.
Because like now, the way you started that avocado business, it is good, and we eat avocado almost daily.
Yes.
But most likely, that is something, if they get ripe, all of them, I'm telling you, that's a loss coming if you have not sold all of them.
At the same time. Okay.
You see? So it is also important to check the amount that you can buy. You know, don't invest the whole amount with one item. Because like now, the way you invested in those avocados, if you invested 2,000, then you'll have a buffer zone of about 3,000.
Yeah.
If you see they're not coming up very well, you can change to haulages, you can change to something else. Also, remember, like I have said, don't exhaust your lending avenues.
Okay.
Like now, the way you invested that 5,000, it was, you never recovered your money. You could have gone to maybe another avenue or another app or something, because in business it's all about risk. Even whatever I do today, I'm not 100% sure that we are going to sell 100%.
Uko na deni sahi?
Any business person who doesn't have deni. And in fact, like he has said, I think all of us have those big denis when we are at 25, 26.
Yeah.
That is now when you realize, because you have just married, so and so is driving, so and so, you know, the kids are going to a very good school. You know, that society influence also drives you to getting those loans.
I mean,
also
it's true.
Yes.
The pressure. Okay, so what you're saying is be mindful. I mean, fine, chukua loan if you need to chukua loan. Yes. But then again, do not exhaust everything. Just because umechukua loan.
The other question is, do you need it or you just want it?
Okay.
Because like my friend here said, he went to Mombasa. You did not need that road. You just wanted money. That is the question that we ask ourselves. Do you need the money or just want?
Or do you just want it? Okay, good question. I like that. Amos, alienda Mombasa, akambia mwili pole. Treat mwili alafu arudi sasa fungue biashara.
Kambia mwili pole is the one that has distracted 90% of our youth.
Amos,
You know, allow me to call him Dennis.
Okay.
Sababu ya Denny ni mingi. But I mean, I love his honesty, and it's very important for us to be able to do this. If you find yourself you have too much debt, it simply says that you had too much fun than you should have. So it's always good to limit.
Right.
And I don't know how to overemphasize on what he has said, especially the part of, do you really need it? If you sit down in your business, I don't want to say it's foolish, but first of all, I'm yet to meet idiots. For the 20 years I've been talking about money. People know what they need to know, and they know what they need to do. But now this is where emotions come in. And if you listen to his story, he knew 2 weeks. 2?
I mean, anaishi with
2 weeks. Nalipa hiyo deni. That's what he said, isn't it? Yeah, that's why we go to Maandishi Haya. And even for him, the first thing he had is that his emotions were appealing to him. Boss, teremka wapi? Mombasa.
Okay.
We need to get to a point whereby before you borrow for a business, have you even tested it?
Okay.
Do you really need it? A perfect case of a very simple someone who was selling avocados. He knew at some point he wants to export avocados.
Okay.
He's my very good friend. But then what he started by being a broker. So he would talk to farmers, he would tell them, you go to so and so, in fact, take them there. So he had talked to the person who was already exporting.
Right.
So all he's doing is sending people, and he would earn commissions. Then he bought a pickup, okay, with the money he made, a small pickup. So he would buy his own and now broker them properly.
Right.
Until now the person was telling him, now it's time you registered your company, I'll help you, you can use my facility to do what? To package. And he took him out. Remember, all this time he's not taken debt. So even the farmers who brought to him, he was paying them after he's been paid. Are we together?
All right.
So he took a loan much later to buy a facility and equipment where now he has, it's called integration. So alienda aki-integrate, backward integration is getting rid of the middleman directly to the source, isn't it? Now he's getting rid of the farmer because now he's also planting acres. Then forward integration, nili anaenda, anatoa mwenye alikuwa na between him and the end user. Now he's taking to the end user, and it has taken time. Okay. So even in your business, lazima uanze kujiuliza, before I buy that big stock, can I start by even brokering? Can I tell people in the office, hey, kuna avocado nimebuy. So before I get down to Mabel, I'll tell her, we uzie 15 bob. If you're selling for kuna avocado at 10 bob, it's 30 bob. So wambie ni 25 bob. So I'm making 5 bob and I have not touched any stock. So we have to be very smart. Usikimbilie to Denivo, because some of these things have not been tested.
That's true, and up until now you find yourself like you said, all right, so we need to go on a break, but remember the question that we're asking you this morning, and that is, have you ever been enslaved by debt, and what exactly is your debt story? The question there, you have it on your screen. Have you ever been enslaved by debt, and what exactly is your debt story? Well, hey. So, Lemiso Mugia on Facebook says, that is what some of us are undergoing, okay? And then Kelvin Karuga says, wacha tu akiwe. I love what we malizia. And then Winnie Susan says, it's hurting and haunting, no peace at all. And then Toyoi Sokoma nasema hadi wakatuweka CRB wanadhani tutapumua wakae huko haya CRB hadi time tutapata pesa, si tumepromisiwa every year uchumi itakuwa sawa. Alright, so keep sending in your views on our socials, and that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X. And if you want to call in live, the numbers are, yes, down on your screen, but also use our WhatsApp number, that is 0112-500-400, and ask any question that you have as far as debt is concerned. Maybe you are in it and you want to come out of debt. Maybe you're trying to understand, how can I still, yes, repay my debt, but bado nibaki na kitu ya kudishikilia, okay? All those questions will be answered on the second part of the show. Stay with us. The show is Your World.
Get Showmax Premier League Mobile plus 3 gigs of data for only 450 shillings. Just dial *544*37#. Only with Showmax and Safaricom. T's and C's apply.
I avoid publicity and have rarely given interviews.
Bob Munro, a legend who changed the game forever.
There are no problems. There are only challenges.
Celebrate his legacy in Bob Munro's last interview, Monday, 27th January 2025, only on NTV.
Yo, Butruse K, the sharp guard up in the mix. Now I'm saying NTV, shout out to you, bro. Keep it locked, hey.
Sauti yako ina sound vizuri kwenye masikio.
I like it. Come to the dance floor, babe.
Angie.
Leo tuna festa banga. Another banga. And it's just like an amazing mix.
I am happy today. Sing kwa mavitu nanilea.
Oh yeah. Inaweka shida chini na tupa mikono juu.
No compromise, this the hottest combo.
On NTV, don't touch that dial. Not yet. No,
for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Shilingi 1000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku. Stoki. Rudisha hiyo pesa kwa sanduku namba 10.
Ongeza ifike 50.
Kwa nini? Anataka ukule popcorn ukitizama runinga, sawa? 100,000 Kenya shillings. Inch TV. 1,000 Kenya shillings. Yes.
Welcome back. 32 minutes past the hour. The show is Your World, and today it's all about debt. Okay, madeni za watu kunje, deni za family, black tax, all those things. Mobile lending apps, and wale wako CRB, how you doing? Good morning. So today we're talking about debt management, and we're just first of all trying to understand: is it such a bad thing? Okay, but if you are in it, how do you get yourself out of the same? And Stephen has joined us right about now. Stephen Moshe, who's the managing director, United Paints. Good to have you this morning. Karibu sana. The question that we have for you is, have you ever been enslaved by debt, and what exactly is your debt story? So Stephen, since umeingia, I just want to know, tunaanzia hapo. Have you ever been enslaved by debt?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. So
okay.
I think when we were starting, hatukuwa na access ya deni that easily, like the way it is nowadays. But when you are taking debt, I think it was more of investment, doing more of investment. I think sijaiomba pesa nikakula.
Okay, ujaomba pesa ukapeleka mkidiji, ama uchakua pesa, no?
No, most of the money we have taken as debt, majorly have been using them for investment. My first loan, I remember, I took it My first loan was to pay for my CFA exam.
Okay.
I remember, which I felt was a very big investment for me to help me in my career growth. So that was my first instance when I borrowed money. But then thereafter, so many of the other loans that I have taken, whether it's personally, those ones have been more for development, investing in something, or doing something. The other one is majorly for the business. Business, hawezi survive bila loan. Hiyo ndio kawaida ya business. But it helps you to leverage. Leverage means that kuna vitu ningeweza kufanya, ningesubiri nikimulate pesa, it will take me a lot of time to do it. But then if I can be able to borrow today and invest the money in the business, it will hasten the pace at which we can be able to grow the business. So at that point, you are taking money with a very specific action that you want to do so that you can be able to achieve an end goal that you have already formulated.
I mean, listen, some of our audience members here, again, they posed their questions already to Amos and Shampton, and they said, I had an idea. I wanted to start a business, and I took a loan. Like it is, because in 2 weeks' time or 2 months' time, I'll be able to pay it, right? But things didn't go as planned. Now, sasa niko kwa dunia wenyewe na the biashara in itself did not. So when you're saying a business cannot survive without a loan, so then how can young people go about it in terms of, yes, do not shy away from, you know, getting a loan for business, understanding what you're taking it for, but at the same time, also being able to repay it, but still make a profit from the business in itself.
When you're starting a business, idea is very good when you're starting a business. And I've heard the conversation we have been having here. That idea, have you really tested it? Because unaweza enda uchukue pesa, you put it into an idea that you thought will make you money, but then things go haywire. What will you do in such a situation? So as you have been told, you can first of all upulizie idea either before uweke hata pesa. Siku hizi hivyo tu kuwa broker, enda pale, chukua kitu, enda upeane, pata yako. That way you start even accumulating your own equity in that business before you can be able to leverage. Then si ya kuanzisha biashara. Mind you, kama unataka kuanza biashara, omba kwa ndugu yako, ama mamako, ama mzazi wako, ama marafiki. Hiyo ni deni tofauti sana. Kama hii deni tunaenda kuchukua kwa bank, ambayo iko na interest. So remember, your return lazima zikuwe bigger than the interest you're paying.
That's true.
So that you can be able to be in business. So wakati unaenda kuanzisha biashara, lazima uangalie kwamba if you can be able, tulikuwa tunaita, there's a term you used to use, bro, niaje, nipe dhao 10 kuna kaidia, ama mtu yote kwa familia ama marafiki zako, pull the resources together. And that is where you find people come together. Naweza kuwa na dhao yangu na uko na dhao yako, hizo ni dhao 2, tulikuwa tunataka dhao 5, we put ourselves together as a group. Na ndio unaona hata most of the even the banks nowadays, when it comes to vijana wanawaambia aje kujeni kama
as a group.
Because the group, it means hizi resources zangu kidogo na zako kidogo tutazileta pamoja, zikuwe dhao 10, tufund hii idea, ikileta do, we starting down to accumulate our capital.
All right. So from the businesses aspect, let's talk about individual loans. Let's take a loan. And you also said something about accessibility. That kitambo, it wasn't easily accessible. But now we have these apps on our phones, okay? Umenda mahali, pesa amata shopping, right? And then 500. It's very easy for you to, Fuliza, go to the lending apps, right? So Amos, I'm going to pose this to you. Is it that this person is then living beyond their means? Because the minute you mention Deni, someone thinks, this one is reckless, this one is careless, this one is this or that, right? So from the individual aspect, I know for businesses, I mean, right, you might need it. But for an individual, do we really need loans? And especially for like day-to-day, activities, and especially when it comes to the young people.
Now, I had promised I'd share my story.
Yes.
And I don't want to share the whole thing. But you guys remember the first, when I took the car loan?
The car loan, yes.
And again, when we went for a burial somewhere, my car was pushed because it was small. So I was told to start now climbing a car, not entering. So I got another car loan, which I got a bigger car. But now the thing is, now this one was a bigger loan. And at some point, I transitioned from employment to freelance, and there was a challenge in cash flow. So until I was told the car was about to be auctioned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So of course I behaved like a Kenyan. I hid the car. Didn't have a truck. But however, I realized this is not sustainable. So one of the things I decided to do, I asked myself, what is it that I can be able to do to even earn 500 shillings a day?
Okay.
So I took a place on a mirror and I started writing. And I realized something. Some of the things that I could do did not require me to have capital.
Okay.
Yet some needed that. I actually put the whole story in the first chapter of my book. And I started writing things that are within my talents and abilities.
That you can leverage
yes.
and get money.
I realized I would go give a talk somewhere and people would say like, do you give these talks? Do you charge? I'm like,
Business opportunity.
Yeah, and now there were other ideas that required capital. So what did I do? The small money. I tell people every day that money does not stay where it is needed. It stays where it is respected.
When it's respected.
So can you imagine the 500? I was telling someone the bank gave me a till number. So even 500 would come in today, another 200 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now you see when they see payment, they cannot now auction. They cannot come for your car.
Yeah.
And over 3 months, I was able to get rid of that debt. Okay. So what I'm also telling you, don't also look outside what other people are doing. Some of you are gifted. There are gifts that are inherent in you that probably he might go give a talk somewhere and people are like, okay, we want to invite you and we pay you. Are we together? So then the ideas that require no capital, those are the ones you start with to fund the ones that require capital over time. And I think that is how I got, myself out of this debt. Someone mentioned CRB being listed negatively.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I know you're not going to believe it, that CRB could be your friend right now.
Really?
If you're listed negatively.
How so? If you're listed negatively?
Yes. Because if the three of us here are lenders and we run your data and we see your lifestyle and you qualify in our data, when we run data, you qualify for 20,000. And then I check if you are listed.
Yeah.
Then I'll cancel you.
Okay.
Meaning I will not be enticing you with debt.
Yeah,
meaning, so even sometimes, we grew up in the village and we used to slide.
Yeah.
We used to make the back part of the tree to slide. So sometimes it was so dangerous that you just wished it could stop. So even bumping into a tree was progress because it would stop you.
Yeah.
It would stop you from hurting yourself, isn't it? So consider CRB that tree that is preventing you from digging yourself deeper into debt, isn't it? And then manage situations. You have to manage relationships. I'll tell you, 2019, I thought business was bad. Until now, I got into 2020 when COVID came knocking.
Yeah.
That's when you feel umegonga rock bottom and I realize rock bottom has a basement. Then what happened? Yeah? Now you have
several floors down.
So I remember I used to get calls. I think I had a debt of 7,000 from one of the digital loans.
Yeah.
And you must pay your money, otherwise we are coming for you.
Yeah.
I told them,
and others would call your relatives, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, everybody around you.
Send auctioneers, but please send them with something, katakanika shopping, ka food. Because I'm so broke. And that lady behaved the way you behave. She laughed. And I told her, the day I get money, I promise you I'll pay you.
Yeah.
I paid, I think, a year later after they told me just pay the capital without the interest.
Without the interest. So, I see that. Yeah. Okay. Can we hear from the audience as well? Do you have a question? Do you have the mic? Do you have a question for any of this? Or do you want to share your story? Okay, go ahead. Is that with your name?
Hello. Hey, my name is Ali Prince.
Ali Prince.
Allow me to speak in Swahili, you know.
Please do, by all means.
I'm good in English, but ikikuja ina evaporate.
Iko hapa somewhere hapo.
So, mi naogopa deni kwanza. I fear debt because kuna siku nilikopa deni. Si ya hizi za simu, ya nje tu.
Okay.
Kuna mahali mtaa yetu kuna mtu huwa anakopesha watu deni. So nimezoea naendanga nikikopa nikilipa. So nilikuwa nimemweka friend kabisa. So ilifika time fulani nilikuwa naenda Ocha, ilikuwa deck.
Okay.
So nikasema Judeko anajuanga msee ukitoka Nairobi wewe ni tajiri. Nikasema acha nikope kitu kama ngirimbao. Kakopa 20,000, nilikuwa na zingine nikaongezea. Nikijua nikirudi sintarudi job nitalipa. So nilienda hivyo nikapiga sherehe mtaa, wase wa Ocha wanasema tu Ali Prince wenda kusema.
Wewe unaitwa kiongozi mheshimiwa.
Nilirudi kiliniramba. Nilirudi job iliisha, nikashindwa ndaanzia wapi. mwezi wa kwanza, wa pili, wa tatu, na unajua the more unakaa na hiyo deni the more inaongezeka.
True.
So nilikaa nayo, walinikujia mpaka wakanitia makarao. Wewe utaki kulipa deni, ulikula deni, kumbe ulikuwa unaenda sherehe. Unajua nilikuwa nimedanganya nimeenda mazishi. Niliua mtu mwenye alikuwa amekufa kitambo, nilimuua tena ili nipate hiyo deni. So mimi naogopa deni sana na siwezi kopa tena.
Sasa wewe mtu alikuwa ashadai, wewe ukamuua tena na
ili nipate deni.
Yeah, and then how did they realize by the way unapiga sherehe?
Unajua sasa mimi ni comedian na kila kitu mimi post
online.
So wanaona huyu nako matanga kweli. Na tunaona tu ni sherehe ako huku.
Yeah. So sasa wewe unaogopa deni kabisa.
Sasa yuko na deni yote. Nafikirie mara mbili.
Okay.
Hata niko na hustler fund ndo nafikiria.
Okay, I see that. Watu wanaogopa madeni because there's some people who are like that, right? So we'll address that as well. Okay, do you have a question? Do you want to share your story? Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Johnston Imbote. Can I say my AKA name?
Hey, say by all means.
Okay, thank you.
Lakini bora ikwe AKA mzuri.
Of course
it makes sense.
Of course it
okay.
Is. My name is Johnston Imbote, AKA Kijana Sakaja.
Hey.
I'm from Kasarani.
Okay.
And I'm a climate change champion.
Oh, nice.
And
saving the planet.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
And, also an environmental enthusiast.
Okay.
I do take care of the environment. So I'm a business-oriented person. I do business. I heard my sister saying she sells avocado. I also do.
Yeah.
I also sell tea leaves. And I also sell tea leaves and avocados.
Okay.
And apart from that, I'm currently working with the county government environment department, the Green Army.
All right.
And also aspiring future politician. I like politics. I'm a politician.
Hey,
I'm a political put it. Yeah, sure. Future is bright.
Sasa wewe uko na story ya deni kweli because wewe unaenda wewe. You ni politician huyu.
So story of that by the way mimi ogopa deni. But sisi sema sijai kopa. I've once borrowed. Na nikalipa tena nikakopa tena. And let me share a story of a friend. Just last year.
All right.
My friend borrowed a loan. I think it was 30K. And he happened that as times went by, she did not manage to repay the loan. And a friend went into depression. And we were with her in the same group,
all right,
a WhatsApp group. And actually, it was a real depression whereby she was going to commit suicide, and we, as friends, we had to come in to see what's the problem.
Support.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we came in, she opened up. He has a debt, and beside having a debt, he doesn't have a job, and she is really trying to struggle to pay that loan. And the Shylock who gave her, he was really on her neck to repay that loan.
Okay.
And in regards to that story, I would like to pose this question to Mr. Amos.
All right.
How will she manage to come out of that debt? Because I'm pretty sure up to now, or up to this juncture, she has not been able to repay that loan. So how will she be able to repay that loan?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Amos, go.
Sometimes, and I keep telling people, we are at an age whereby we are not very stable.
Okay.
And when you get into debt and it's getting there, that means the very purpose of acquiring the debt was not the right amount.
Right.
Because I have seen people, and he can attest to the same. If today she borrows that 30,000 from a bank, that is her problem. But if he borrows 3 billion from the same bank, that is the bank's problem.
Okay.
You get my point?
Yeah.
We have to get to a place whereby, because sometimes sitting down with this person, sometimes you just have to let it crumble. Whatever needs to crumble,
Crumble.
She needs to face these people, tell them, you know what, this is where I am. I'm not doing well mentally. I'm stressed because of this thing. For now, I'll dare her to tell them, do what you need to do. I'm restarting afresh. Sometimes some of these guys, I've seen now the cases in small claim courts have increased because now they have resorted to take people to
court.
But also don't just fight the entire thing. Just fight, say, I have their loan, but fight the interest because some of these guys have very hidden charges.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So she needs to know what she's really fearing. And that's what I think we're addressing here.
Yeah.
You know, fear, it's very interesting when we borrow money when emotions are involved. And sometimes it could be as harmless. He mentioned he took a loan for the mom, right? Are we together? Start analyzing yourself. Is it an emotional decision? You know, you see, it's your mom, so your emotions are high. So sometimes when you're making very simple money decisions, ask yourself, am I having an emotional meltdown?
Okay.
Because some of our moms will call us, hey, chama nisipolipa leo, chama natolewa.
True.
So it is okay sometimes to say no. You know, and you could be in business. You have a lot of merchandise. They've seen you moving trucks. But you're forgetting turnover is not profit.
Yeah.
So people see you moving a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Alafu mtu anakuambia I need 20k urgently. Sometimes it's good to learn to say no and tell them. Hata kama unahitaji polepole, leave alone urgently. Hata polepole sioni kipatika. Sioni kipatika.
Hata vivi I need urgently. Okay.
To manage fear, we must be aware of our fears. Once you understand the emotion behind why you're borrowing, then it becomes easy even for you to say no. I'm not ready to take that loan, or no, I cannot be able to lend you that money. Okay. Let's not forget, money is very emotional. They say debts are like small children. The smaller they are, the more noise they make.
Yes.
Like I said, he owes the bank 3 billion.
That's the bank.
They will never be calling him. In fact, they will be inviting him for golf tournaments to make sure he's okay. Where huyu mtu wa Shiloh?
Yeah.
They will give you bouncers, threats.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Okay.
This is where she's opened. Just let her deal with them face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, we have literally like 8 minutes to end the conversation. There's so much that we need to cover. So I'm just going to ask you, Shabton, then promise on the quality of the business and also still get profit. But like, don't be too enslaved into, focusing on repaying the debt that unajisahau na unasahau business. So what would be your advice for someone who's already in it? Very briefly.
Number one, as I did myself.
Okay.
When I was starting FDK.
Yeah.
I had a car loan, I had another loan, two business loans. You write down which one first. Do I need this car?
Prioritize.
Yes.
Okay.
There are matters all over. Then I sold the car.
Okay.
That is one loan solved.
Okay.
Start paying the debt one by one. So when I sorted about the car loan, that one is gone. Those are not calling me anymore. But the banks, as he said, they'll call you 24/7. And then I told them, now there's nothing else I can do.
Okay.
Come, as long as you are not going to take my wife and the kid, everything else, go with it.
Take what you can.
I'll start again.
Okay.
The problem now comes in, as he has said, when the loan comes now from the bank to your mind. You start getting depressed.
Yeah, mental health. And
you must fight with all ways possible. Let the computer remain intact. The idea that you had, let it remain intact in your mind.
All right.
Don't think of how they are going to come for you. Think of how you are going to get out of this loan. And that is how I decided. I started paying Polo. When you, like he said, when you become that, sometimes they call you. You sit down. You explain to them. These people, they give you that money for you to help yourself.
Yeah.
Now, imekwama. What do?
Yeah.
Go to them.
Face
them. Explain to them. Maybe they can even add you some more to unlock what is locked.
Whatever is
Yes.
Yeah.
They can add you some more to unlock what is locked. And that is how I grew from. Then another thing. You cannot go back to selling avocados, and avocados you know they are not moving.
Yeah.
You must change now. You must know what is trending.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You must know what to sell at what time. I remember when I started FDK, I was selling camera accessories. That's what you're having here. But these things are too professional. How do you tell your mom now to operate this camera?
Yeah.
But she needs a charger.
Yeah.
She needs a phone cover. She needs the glass protector. Look at something that is highly consumed.
Okay.
These cameras, even if you yourself you are given, not unless he is dealing with cameras, most likely you're not even able to handle them.
True.
So that one needs a professional.
Okay.
Get something that is consumed by almost 90% of the Kenyans all the world. So that is something I changed from now selling these camera accessories to mobile. If I tell you how I started, you know, I went to China in 2011. I think some of you were still in school. That's the first time I went to China. It was alone 100%. If I give that story, we can stay here for
forever. Okay.
But I had taken 5 loans. The 5th one is the one that ilikwama.
Okay.
Now I'm not paying. I'm calling everyone. They help me. But I had an advert on radio telling such a bank is giving $1 million security free. I took the statements that were all overhead. Whatever happened, I don't know. They told me, open an account with us, operate it for 3 months, then we see what
they give you.
I was given the $1 million.
Okay.
Now the money is here. I don't want to go back to cameras, but I remembered when I went to China the first time, 2011, I came with earphones.
Okay.
They were bought by one person.
All of them?
All of them.
Okay.
That was the eye-opener.
All right.
I leave this.
Something that's this movie. Okay.
And that will also make sure whatever you are selling, you are maximizing on profit. You know, nothing is guaranteed.
Okay.
You don't know about tomorrow. Whatever you are doing today, we will copy and we will do. Many of us. So don't think that is for you permanently.
This is the idea. All right. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry to rush you because literally 2 minutes before we end the conversation. Are there like budgeting techniques that then people can sort of like use to manage what they have and reduce on the unnecessary borrowing? Because I think the consensus here is understand, do you need it or do you really want it? Okay, and then
I agree. In business, like the way we run United Paints, you have to appreciate that there are things which you can do now, the things which I can do tomorrow. You have to plan yourself. That is literally business. So I might need to have 101 strategies I need to implement, but what is priority? You have to prioritize your things. What do I need to do today? What can wait? Then what is urgent and important? Give them priority. Urgent, not important, put them next. Then what is not important, but it's also, so you prioritize all your things, then you're able to fund them as resources are available. Sometimes debt comes in different forms. Like for us, I don't have to go to a bank. Can take materials from my supplier. That's a debt that he has given me. I leverage on that instead of me going to borrow money for working capital from a bank. I'll negotiate with my supplier and he'll be able to extend for me the credit limit, and that is a form of a debt that comes to your business. On this other end, as you are selling, some of you need to be very strict when it comes to your credit terms you are giving, so that at least you are able to balance the two, and then you are able to manage your cash flow properly. Business, don't be usidanganywe na mtu. Biashara ni pesa, cash flow. It's not about the profit you are writing on your books. Kama hauna pesa kwa account yako ya kulipa madeni zako zile uko nazo, then hata upotengeneze faida kiasi gani, then you are not in business. At the end of the day, you have to look at your numbers. Are they adding up? Do I have money? Nimefanya biashara, nimepata pesa, ngapi kwa account? Usikae tu kwa vitabu, maybe umekopesha, lakini hujaweza kuokota zile deni umepeana nje. So wewe kwa vitabu kuna faida, lakini ikikuja kwa pesa kwenye ziko kwa ground, hauna do. So ile ya muhimu zaidi wakati una run biashara ama wakati unaanza biashara, insist kwanza ulipwe mapema. Ya pili, make sure kwamba huyu mwenye anakuletea negotiate naye kidogo, akupe terms kidogo. That way you will be ahead in terms of how you are managing your cash flow.
I see that.
Na saa hiyo utaweza kudeal na. Then hizi lifestyle issue wachana nazo.
I was about to ask him was that.
Hii kitu watu nataka kufurahisha my friend here with a big car and I pia ama nataka kwenda Ocha nionekane huko mimi ndio kusema they don't add value to your life. Okay? So there are things you will do. Watu wa Ocha watasahau immediately you leave. It's something that they will forget like immediately. So also live within your means. Okay, ndio nasema saa zingine sisi we are privileged hatukuwa na hii social media kujianika sana what we are doing in our lives. Siku hizi, you know, everything you are doing, you're putting out there. Na watu wanakujudge. Wanajua saa zingine ni kwa act una act. So sio real. Nika script uko nako, unachapa pale, lakini reality
Ricardo, so forget social media and all those things.
Hizo vitu za zingine hata ukiona best yako akona gari kubwa, nani amekwambia ni yake? Naweza kuwa amechukua tu ya kupiga hiyo mradi alafu irudishe jioni. Saa zingine tujiache kujipea pressure mob.
Okay, I see that. Thank you very much.
then biashara yako itanawiri.
You'll be okay.
Cheza chini ya maji.
I like that. So then to bring it to a close, right? What are some of those financial habits that you would advise young people to sort of like, you know, to at least not live within their means, because again, sometimes you need these loans here and there, but just to manage the debt, but also live a comfortable life that is free of these Shylocks, you know, and all those things. What are these habits that people need to learn?
You know, I think also, first of all, we need to change our perspective and look at the Shylocks and know that these are guys who are in business as well. So that is why they will be hard on you. They normally say when you add weight while you owe me money is a sign of disrespect. When Kosei Shima. So they're in business. So they will never be responsible for your finances. I'm almost doing 2 decades now in financial literacy. And people, these young people, have the skills to make money. They have the knowledge to understand what they need to do. But there are 2 places where we have a stumbling block, which is our attitudes and behavior.
Okay.
So I'll tell any young person starting right now, I'm sure he's paid not just an internal auditor, but also an external auditor to do auditing of business processes, loan ratios, things what he was mentioning. So can you do a self-audit on yourself? You're going to ask yourself, why am I borrowing? Why am I where I am? He took a loan because of black tax. He took a loan because of emotions. You're taking someone, which he told me later, aliachwa. So we have to do self-audit.
Okay.
Subscribe to something. You see what he has said, you have these shows every now and then. Subscribe to some of these shows. Content is all out there, but the first thing you do is start with auditing. He mentioned something very good. It's also good to do what we call consolidating. The big word is that. List down all your loans, including digital loans. Okay? Start now understanding which one is cheaper in terms of negotiating, in terms of interest. The most expensive ones, you'd rather negotiate, get a bigger loan from someone who's reasonable to pay off all the debt so that you have a debt that is one that you're servicing. So at the end of it all, just be intentional and learn contentment. It's a new luxury in finance.
I really, really like that. Unfortunately, time is not on our side and there's so much that we need to cover. But allow us to say thank you very much for your time this morning. Shamton Gidere, who's the chairman, Mobile Accessories Group, Emusingahu, Money Coach and founder, Money Clinic Limited, and Stephen Moshe, who's the managing director, United Paints. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Very, very valuable insights that we have gotten this morning. And the question that we asked you this morning, very quickly, have you ever been enslaved by debt? And what is your debt story? Just to go through 1 or 2 feedback. So Andrew Katolo says, debt made me a non-respected person. As I used to be, I am not free at all with my life. I cannot access even bank loans. My life is in limbo. Kenya life is actually terrible. Okay. And then another person says, Abdullahi Opio says, I think using our country as an example will make it understand much easier. And then Ma Ashley says, only God knows. I wish I could get a well-wisher to help me clear debt more. So school fees, which is making me thin every single day. And then Tom Owino lastly says, I lent someone money and he died before paying. I am a slave. Okay. Keep the conversation going online, and that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X. Tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. But for now, we say goodbye. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming. This was so much fun. We learned a lot from you, but also I hope that you've been answered all your questions. But they're still here for a few minutes, so ask them all your questions. But for now, have yourselves a lovely day ahead. Tomorrow is Tuesday, Relationship Tuesday, and we're talking about jealousy in relationships, and in this case, mothers-in-law and their sons and their daughters-in-law. Okay, it's gonna be an amazing conversation. So see you tomorrow, same time, same place. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.